Hello everyone, my name is Ben Ling. I am 14 years old and I'm from Homedale, New Jersey. I'd like to first start this off by thanking the organizers of this wonderful event. I'm incredibly honored to be here speaking to you today. Now, I'm going to start this talk off by going back to when I first started learning languages. I believe it was about a year ago, when I was 13 years old. And from the moment I opened up my first Thai book, I knew I had found my passion. I'll never be able to truly describe how I felt in that first week of studying. It was like coming home, as if all the life I had previously lived was just a filler. Aimless wandering, searching for nothing in particular, and that now, in this beautiful moment, I had found what I was looking for. I had managed to find something that was both productive and purposeful, but also something that I loved to the point where it was the reason why I woke in the morning. I was in total bliss. I was studying word lists and grammar constructions, using Memrise and Anki, and at one point, doing literally nothing other than practicing rolling my R's for 3 days straight, whether or not I was surrounded by people. I joined the Adlon Challenge, and I was ready to become the best polyglot I could possibly be. And then, the sudden, awful realization struck me. I was going to need to talk to a native. Now, you see, this terrified me. I have a diagnosed anxiety condition, and the idea of using any of the language I had actually learned in real conversation with actual people basically made me shut down. However, one of the main factors in the judging of the Adlon Challenge was how many minutes you had racked up talking to natives. So I decided I had to start somewhere. So I stumbled into one of my favorite Thai restaurants, clearly nervous, shaking as I am now, and I barely managed to flutter out the words Swati Pat, hello, to the waiters. And they were delighted. They were so amazed that a Fadong like me spent any time learning the language and that I was actively trying to connect with them in their culture. We made small talk, I ordered my food, introduced myself, and I left feeling completely awful about myself. I thought about how terrible I sounded. I thought about how I had to request them to slow down and repeat themselves 50 times. And I thought about how, I thought about my 50 requests them to slow down and repeat themselves. However, after 50 minutes of violent shaking, feeling awful about myself, a realization struck me. I was okay. I managed to talk to these people and they didn't judge me whatsoever. They were delighted I tried to connect with them, and all the anxiety I had imagined was totally in my head. Nothing bad had occurred. I was only judging myself at that point. I felt pretty good after that, because, you see, the mistake I made wasn't believing that my Mandarin and Thai sounded terrible, but believing that that mattered. Because the fact is, my Mandarin and Thai do sound terrible, even today. I studied pronunciation, of course, but there's only so much you can study by books and tutors before needing to be constantly immersed in the language with auditory stimulation to truly grasp fine-tuning and accuracy. Point being, I sound like a foreigner. It's obvious I sound like a foreigner. And I was horrified of the social judgment that I received because of that. I was terrified of being judged. It's the biggest reason that people don't grasp every opportunity that presents itself to use your target language. Thoughts like, I'll sound stupid, I'll be judged, what if I screw up, are omnipresent around these types of situations. But the truth is, a fear of social judgment is nothing more than a survival mechanism bred into us that at this point is outdated and unnecessary. The fact is, the majority of interactions you'll have with native speakers are incredibly positive, because at least you're trying to connect with someone, and they're always happy to see someone trying to learn their language. And on top of that, even if an interaction is negative and someone ends up judging you, that has no effect on you whatsoever. Literally, all that has happened is you met someone, and after they met you, they had different thoughts. That won't affect you now, and won't affect you in the future. There's no point being scared of being judged, because scientifically and literally, nothing is happening that will ever affect you. It has no bearing on you now, and will have no bearing on you in the future. Okay. In the future. So, I'm so sorry, getting lost. Have no effect on you in the future. So, alright. Will have no effect on you in the future. You can't let anxiety stop you from talking to natives. Because when you're talking to a native, you're making a human connection. And human connection is something to be chased after. It's something beautiful and simplistic. And whenever an opportunity presents itself for you to gain it, you should always try as hard as possible to get at least another interaction in your life. Human connection is something beautiful. It's It opens up new doors. It shows you new perspectives. It creates new paths in your lives that you wouldn't have ever thought of taking, that you might have never thought of taking before. I'm going to end my talk now because I'm lost. So I'm just going to end it with this. The simple, beautiful human satisfaction of connection is something far greater than the comfort of never challenging your anxieties or worries. Thank you.
So now, do you guys have any questions for us? Yes?
It's more of a comment, really, a response.